This has Lakers fans hyped, and I know we are all super excited about what has transpired the last couple of days and during the NBA trade deadline. However, this is just the cherry on top that could potentially make things much sweeter for the Los Angeles Lakers and catapult them into NBA championship contention. And welcome to Lakers Digest here, guys. My name is Hunter Pitcoff, and we cover everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers. We just reached a milestone accomplishment on this channel, 10,000 subscribers, and you guys watching are the subscribers. But if you are not one of those subscribers, you want to hop on this bandwagon now before we get to 20K, 30K, 50K, whatever the ceiling is for this channel, stop what you're doing right now and do so, because look at this, guys. 90% of you guys watching the content as of late are not even subscribed. So if you're interested in what we got going on, stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with everything up to date here with this channel. And of course, guys, we know a big trade that just broke out, hours before the deadline. Seems like all these trades happen, late at night, as we know that the Lakers traded Dolan Connect, Cam Reddish, and an unprotected first-round pick in 2031 and a 2030 pick swap to get Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets to be the new starting center to replace Anthony Davis. And of course, we know this is not what the video is about, but there is a silver lining in that deal. Did you notice that the Lakers gave up 2 players in exchange for 1? So what does that do with this Lakers roster? Well, it opens up a roster spot for the team. So Lakers, despite the fact that the deadline has passed, they are probably not done making moves. They're going to look to add perhaps 1 more player to round out the rest of the team. So I guess the question is, who's that player going to be? We speculated a lot about a guy like Torrey Craig. Well, he just signed with the Boston Celtics, so he would have been a good fit, but he's not going to be the option for this team. So I guess the question is, guys, where do the Los Angeles Lakers turn to next? And that's what we're going to talk about here, because this one player, former Laker player, made a very interesting comment recently, standing up for Luka Doncic. And it might not be the player you necessarily expect, but guys, we do read the comments here on Lakers Digest. We try to stay as tapped into what you guys want also here. And so I did some research, had to go across the pond to do it, but I found a very interesting comment made by none other than former Laker Lonnie Walker. He's currently playing right now in Lithuania, and he was asked about the Luka Doncic trade. This is what he said, quote, "So whatever negativity you want to say, man, a 25-year-old made it to the damn finals." Of course, Luka making the finals last season. He won EuroLeague MVP at 17. There's no negativity in my point. That kid is great. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's going to be one of the greatest players of all time. And hey, man, make the apology just as loud as the disrespect at this point. So Lonnie Walker was talking about a lot of the criticism Luka Doncic received. We heard the reports that the Mavs thought he was out of shape. He couldn't be the franchise player. All that stuff we know. But Lonnie Walker speaking out about it across the pond in Lithuania. Unless you guys are watching and you're in Europe, then, shout out to you guys, for that reach too. I know we have fans all over the world when it comes to Los Angeles Lakers. So comment down below too, where you guys are watching this from. I'm definitely always curious to see where you guys are tapping in from. But anyways, Lonnie Walker, I know he was asked about it, but him really going this far and beyond out of his way, I find extremely interesting. Him and Luka, as far as I'm concerned, don't have really any sort of particular ties to each other. I don't really know how much they've crossed paths outside of just playing basketball against each other in the NBA. So for him to really go this far out of his way to praise a guy like Luka Doncic is very, very interesting for Lonnie Walker. And again, guys, 1 more roster spot left on this team. I guess the question is, what do the Lakers prioritize? Who are they looking to bring in? But that is going to bring up our next point here, guys, and let's speculate a little bit, put on our future predicting hats. I don't think it's a thing, but does a fan favorite come back home from Lithuania all the way across the pond to Los Angeles to go play for your Los Angeles Lakers again for his redemption story, the second time that he is a Laker? Now, first off, guys, I guess the question is, well, why did the Lakers lose Lonnie Walker the first time? So Lonnie Walker signed for, I think it was more than a vet minimum deal. I think it was, I am blanking. I think it's like a non-player exempt deal, something along those lines. But he signed for a 1-year deal, and the Los Angeles Lakers, that was the season when he was there, where he was the starting 3 to start the year. He was in the starting lineup. Then they make a big trade. Also, kind of minutes were waning there in the first year under Darvin Ham. They bring in D'Angelo Russell. They bring in Malik Beasley. They bring in Jared Vanderbilt. His minutes basically get diminished for almost the rest of the season. A lot of DNPs for Lonnie Walker. But more specifically, during that playoff run, when the Lakers went to the Western Conference Finals, that was a season where, or a playoff run where Malik Beasley really just wasn't getting it done for you. And Darvin Ham was looking up and down the bench, looking for a spark. And he subs in Lonnie Walker, and he keeps his spot in the rotation the rest of the way. And, of course, you remember, as I'm recording this, the Lakers are up 20 points at halftime to the Warriors. The famous Western Conference semifinals, Game 4, Lonnie Walker in that fourth quarter, where I think he had like 13 points or something like that, finished with like 15. And I always will forever remember that game as the Lonnie Walker game, because he was the difference maker and helped the Lakers get up 3-1 in that series and ultimately win the series in 6 against the rival Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. So I know we can't specifically remember him for one specific game or one specific playoff run, because he played really well in that series, period. But let's also look at what Lonnie Walker did as a Los Angeles Laker here. So before we get into that, let's look at some of the stats here. So was drafted in 2018 by San Antonio Spurs, played 4 seasons there until San Antonio Spurs decided that Lonnie Walker, they were going to move on from him, and he was going to go play elsewhere. So then that is when he came to the Los Angeles Lakers on a prove-it deal, and then after that ends up signing for a vet minimum deal with the Brooklyn Nets. He was on the Boston Celtics roster. I know Laker fans this offseason were calling for Lonnie Walker to be back on the team. They didn't go that route. And then the Boston Celtics cut him, and now he's playing overseas in Lithuania. So right now he's not on an NBA deal. But you look at the numbers here. Also, only 26 years old. Lonnie Walker is still very young, and for the most part was progressing pretty well. That Brooklyn team was weird. You really didn't have a very solid role. As you can look at the minutes per game here, they're only down to 17, which is the lowest since his second year in the NBA. But when he's gotten serious run and serious playing time, this is a double-digit type of scorer. Somebody as well who is a pretty respectable shooter, shooting 35.5% around that for his career, but did shoot, my eyes a little blurry, but I believe around like 38% from 3 during his time with the Lakers. So he ended up becoming a pretty good spot-up shooter. And obviously, when it comes to Lonnie Walker, what you think about him, it's the athleticism. The dude makes highlight plays. His nickname is Skywalker for a reason, because the man just flies. He's one of those dudes, when you watch him play, it almost seems like he's floating in midair, and he makes these crazy acrobatic plays. And the Lakers right now don't have a lot of athletes. They trade away Anthony Davis, who's one of the best athletes on the team. Max Christie's a good athlete. Dalton Connect is a really good athlete. They trade away a lot of athletes. So right now, they kind of have their roster set in terms of their 8-9-man rotation, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't look to execute and get one more player on this deal. And why not someone who's hungry and ready to scratch his feet, get his footing back in the NBA, as well as a player who, well, let's face it, Laker fans really, really liked. And Lonnie Walker right now, he is eligible to come back to the NBA. So Mark Stein saying here that potential buyout candidate, Lonnie Walker, after the trade deadline is passed here, he has an escape clause in his EuroLeague contract until February 18th. So essentially, when he signed this deal, he signed it with the intent that he still has a chance to make it back into the NBA. He hasn't been putting up extremely impressive numbers in Lithuania. I did not know this off the top of my head, guys. It's not like I watched too much Lithuanian basketball, but was looking into what he was doing there in about 9-ish games or so. So I wasn't having a particularly great season, but I do think he probably has more of an NBA-style game. He's very up and down, shoots off the dribble. Defensively, he's not great. That's kind of where his issues are, but he's also a really good athlete and can guard a little bit of bigger positions. He's also pretty built. He's around 205 pounds, and he's muscular too. So he's someone who is pretty sturdy for a guard, and obviously with his athleticism, he can guard up a little bit. But, could be really a nice spark plug for the Lakers off the bench. And look, we've seen him do it before. We've seen him, not single-handedly, but really be the key difference maker, the stone that broke the camel's back and ultimately helped the Lakers win a playoff series against the Golden State Warriors. So there's no reason that I don't think Lonnie Walker is capable of having those explosive moments again, whether it's with the Lakers or not. But guys, look, we read the comments. I would be fine with Lonnie Walker coming back on this team. At this point, with Torrey Craig gone, I'm not quite sure who the next best available buyout candidate is going to be for the Lakers. We did drop a Josh Richardson video. We'll have more guys coming out here as well. We're going to cover everybody here. That could be a potential option for the Los Angeles Lakers. So let me know down below in the comments, too, who you would like to see the Lakers ultimately target. Again, guys, 10,000 subscribers and counting on this channel. A remarkable accomplishment that all of us achieved here. Of course, we don't have these subscribers, but you guys clicking that subscribe button. If you've watched all the way through this video, if you like what you're watching, or you don't, you just want to continue to come back and hate, wouldn't recommend doing that, but I guess you could. I can't stop you. Click that subscribe button. Again, 90% of you guys are tapped into our content, but it doesn't cost a dime. It's free to click that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. You can keep up to everything that we got going on here with Lakers Digest. I promise you guys, the trade deadline might be passed. We might not be talking about hypothetical trades for a while now because we really can't, but I promise you guys, we will be covering this last buyout candidate for the Los Angeles Lakers, the buyout market, the games, everything surrounding your Los Angeles Lakers here on Lakers Digest.